What's up guys, it's Paul the Toy Scavenger. So I got invited to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem action figure launch down in London. And I got to see all of the figures up close and personal. I got to see the figures out of their boxes and in their boxes, and I got to see some of the other items that were going to be on sale. Ken from Back to Toys also came along with me. They had the figures, playsets, vehicles, roleplay, talking turtles, Ooze, you name it. So stick around and I'll show you all of the figures that were available, and we'll have a look at the card art and the figures out of their box. Also, we're going to throw in some of the vehicles, the playsets, and some of the other accessories that they have for sale. So at this point, remember to subscribe and comment and let us know what you think of the video as you watch. And remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all at Toy Scavenger. So let's roll those credits. So Character Toys contacted me and said, do you want to come to the VIP opening of the action figures for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem movie? And I said, yeah, sure, why not? I love turtles, let's go. We didn't know if it was going to be busy, so we decided to get there on time, and luckily we were right at the front of the queue. As we were going in, we spied some mystery bags, so hopefully we were going to be grabbing one of them on the way out, and if you stick around, you'll see what we actually got. So we walked in and we saw that it was an amazing venue, and the first thing we got to do was to have our photos taken with the turtles. I've met the turtles once before at NGM Studios back in the 90s, and they couldn't even sign at that point, they just had little stamps that they did for the signatures. So we headed to the bar for a quick drink, and then we sat down for some free pizza. While we ate our pizza, we got to see some of the skateboard skills on show, and we also got to see the advert that was going to be playing for the new action figures. The venue itself was set out like a sewer. It was at the Steel Yards in London. They had all the lights going, all the pink and the green and the yellow and the blues. It kind of gave a nice effect for the turtles. They had loads of art on display and so many different photo opportunities, so I had to take them every single time. They had this nice shop display with like all the carded figures and the boxes figures that were going to be coming out. So we'll take a little look at them a little bit later. First up was the Ooze. Now the Ooze is something that I always like. They always bring out Ooze for every single time that the Turtles seem to have a new action figure line. But this time they've gone with 3 new colors, green, red and blue. And you get a nice little mini turtle with it. Really give me like some flashbacks with that Ooze.
That's what I like. It looks like a proper little Ooze canister as well.
Absolutely love it. It's like the Ghostbuster slime, something you've got to have. So Ken from Back to Toys was taking a few videos and pictures, and I spied this role play set. So you have Donatello's bow, you have the scythes, the daggers, and the nunchucks. I'm gonna be honest, I think the bow is gonna be a bit of a peg warmer, but the nunchucks, the scythes, and the sword, they're gonna go really well. Obviously, if you wanna get all 4 of the turtles, you get a nice bandana with it, and the packaging looks really cool as well. I think my personal favorite is the nunchucks on that one. They've made the chain not so long so you don't actually smack yourself in the face while you're playing with them. Don't want any broken TVs, guys. Of course, I had to get another photo opportunity. So they also had like giant turtles, talking turtles, vehicles, and we'll get onto them in a little bit. But first up is the 4 bros, is the turtles. So you obviously got Raphael, Leonardo, Michelangelo and Donatello. They look like they are from the film, and they have got that little bit of a nostalgic feel to them because of their weapons. Now I was a little bit worried at first before I saw these, but now I've seen them in real life, I'm quite happy with them. They are quite articulated, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. So here is the cards. And the cards are really cool. I really like the art on the cards. I like the purple colours of this one. Purple green really does pop. This is the back of the card, and you can see obviously all the characters that they're actually bringing out at this moment in time. There is more to come, but it depends on how this first line goes. So you've obviously got Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello. I really like Donatello because this one comes with a little mobile phone in his pocket. But Michelangelo as well. Michelangelo's nunchucks are a highlight for me. And the good thing about these are they're actually really articulated. It's making me quite happy, and I was a little bit nervous that they weren't going to be moving around a lot, but these ones seem to be quite strong as well. I think a good thing about these is they're nice and solid, and then on this Michelangelo, I'm really happy with them because on the back, instead of like the bands to put your nunchucks, they've actually got clips. So as long as those clips hold up, that's a good idea, because those bands, they're always breaking the weapons when you put them in. The one thing I didn't like, and I did spot on this Michelangelo, was a load of writing on his leg on both examples. So I picked up one of the cards and I just checked behind the figure to see if that writing was actually going to be on the final product, but it didn't look like it was. So maybe the writing was just on these ones, just like as prototypes or out for display. But I know definitely collectors would not like that. Here we had a little look at Raphael as well. Raphael was quite a chunk of a figure. He's really good. He seems to be quite solid. They also had the giant turtles, which I feel like they had a lot more detail than the smaller turtles. At the moment, they've only got Leonardo and Raphael out, but obviously they're going to bring the others out depending on the success of these. And to be honest, I really like this giant turtle in this box. It actually pops. So here's a quick look at the talking turtles. I did try to get it to talk, but because it was so loud in there, my audio didn't pick it up. And obviously there's too many people talking and it was music, so I've had to kind of edit over the top. I'm actually really keen on this Donatello, to be honest. His glasses do remove, which is a big thing for me. And he has that little mobile phone, which I think is pretty cool. Gotta get with the times, man, come on. They're obviously all based on the characters from the film, so they couldn't obviously change them too much, but they do pop and they're very toyetic. So I've got to move on to the bad guys, because these are the ones that I'm probably going to pick up myself. And first look at Rocksteady. Now I was a little bit worried about Rocksteady because I didn't really like the design, but since seeing these and holding them in person, I'm actually now a fan. I thought that he was going to be really front heavy because of his face, but he's actually got a lot of weight behind him in his shoulders and he doesn't fall forward. And I really like with the bad guys as well, they've got the weapons rack just like the old vintage style. As you can see, this one didn't actually have any massive markings on it as well, which was quite good. So that must be like a normal production run figure. And whoever put these out put the Fly Guy weapon and Leatherhead weapon over by Rocksteady and Bebop, and they were supposed to go with Leatherhead and Fly Guy, but it doesn't matter. That's just me having a little moan. So moving on to Bebop, I'm really happy with Bebop. They've made him look like a warthog. They've made him look like a chunk of a fella. He can handle himself. He doesn't look like the skinny little warthog that was in the last kind of series, so I'm quite happy that this guy has got a bit more weight to him. Again, he comes in the card with the purple background and the weapons rack, and for some reason they stuck Splinter in with the bad guys. Now there's a reason Splinter's standing in this little block. He's not hiding from the bad guys, he actually can't stand up very well. So what you have to do when you're standing him, we found, is you have to get his towel and wrap it around the front of his leg. I did like the fact that he still comes with his staff that turns into a sword, which is pretty cool. Now Baxter Stockman's name's been changed to Fly Guy, and I think this is pick of the bunch. This guy looks awesome. He is absolutely toyetic. He's got this massive muscle arm with his little hand and he can clamp onto things. He comes along with the weapons rack as well, and he's got some of the original classic weapons. His wing does come off and we did manage to stick it back on. It's not actually broken, but on this particular figure he had loads of markings on the back of him. Really hoping that's not on the final product. Moving on to Leatherhead, I'm not a big fan on the character style of Leatherhead because I really want this big giant alligator, but we're just not getting that. Obviously this guy is based on the character from the film, so as a toy it's pretty cool, but as a character I'm not sold on him. Again, he comes with his shotgun and lots of vintage style accessories. They also had a playset out, which we will show you in a little bit if you stick around. But on the back of the playset with the art, they had a few characters that are in the film and they haven't got the figures yet for. So now we're going to move on to the vehicles, and the first ones we looked at were the motorbikes. So I'm a big fan of this bike because it had the trash can on the back and it actually flipped round to the side like the original vintage one. Which is here. You see? Also has these swords on the side, and that one had the nunchucks. It looks pretty good. You get Raphael with a helmet, so it's a little bit of a different figure to the normal run. It looks really good in the box as well, and on the back they've obviously got Michelangelo in there. Next up was the Ninja Kick bike with Leonardo, and he comes with like a helmet. And this one fires pizza from the front of the bike. On the back you've got the picture of Leo kicking everybody with his ninja kick. So just quickly moving back to the cards, I managed to pick up the Rocksteady and I thought let's have a little check of it. Proper solid, it's really solid. I couldn't really bend it without a bit of force, and I think the blisters will hold on really well for the collectors. So moving on to the pizza van, which is kind of reminiscing of the party wagon, and it's actually like the party wagon mixed with the pizza thrower from the vintage line. I really like this pizza van. I like the tyre on the front, that kind of adds to it. And I like the idea that there is a pizza thrower that kind of slides out the side. Like with the party wagon where they had the arm that flew out and then you could throw the bombs, this one has that pizza thrower. The figures look really good inside as well. The box art looks pretty cool as well. I think this one will be definitely one to get. Of course, I had to get another photo opportunity. So when we first walked in, they had this playset on show in like a photo booth area that you could have a little video, or you could film, or you could just do some kind of photos. Unfortunately, my audio broke, so I couldn't show you that. But what I can show you is the playset. And when we first looked at the playset, I thought it was pretty good. The Turtle playsets are always quite known for being very big now with these huge backing cards. This one's not that big compared to some of the previous playsets. It's got a mix between the old sewers and the new sewers. I'm really digging it, man. It was really good, and it was a lot of fun to actually just have a little play with it. It has like a zip wire, has opening doors, it has a lift. It comes with like a little weight bench as well, so the turtles can kind of bulk up if they want to, because they're still teenagers at the moment. It comes with some ooze as well, which goes in this little ball, and then you put the ooze on the top and it kind of slimes down. So when we got to play with it, we actually put the turtle in the lift and decided to kind of see if it worked. It got to the top, but then it was stuck. Whoever put this playset together didn't put it together properly because we couldn't open the door. We had a little look to see if it was a design flaw, and we're not too sure if it was or if the person who put it together made a little bit of an error. But then we just put the lift down, we took the turtle out, and we kind of moved on to the next part. I really hope that's not in the final product, but if it is, oh dear. As I said before, the art on the back of it was really cool, and it included like all the other mutants that are in the film. So you had this Ray Fillet, Genghis Frog, Wingnut and Screwloose, and Mondo Gecko. I'm really liking Mondo Gecko. I really hope he gets a figure. So if they're going to bring these out, they're going to look pretty cool. The mutants always sell well, and they're the ones that the collectors seem to go for. So last quick look at some of the figures on the playset. They kind of go well, the colours pop. It doesn't seem to be very flimsy, it's quite solid as well, which is really nice for a playset. You don't want it to smash too easily. I just want to thank Character for inviting us as well, because it was a really enjoyable experience. I'm a big fan of the Turtles, and I'm glad I got to see these up close in person. So as it was time to go home, we left and we popped on the train because I didn't want to hit rush hour, and we grabbed one of those goodie bags. And this is what I got in the goodie bag. We got a figure. We got some sweets, which were in the style of the Turtles. Obviously got some pizza, got a cool little pin badge as well, which was really nice. We also got something that I really wanted, some of that mutagen ooze, nice poster for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem movie. We got one of the stretchy turtles, which was like a vintage style turtle. This one was Leonardo. And they gave me a medium-sized t-shirt, which is my t-shirt. So that will be worn at the next Comic-Con. And obviously it all came in a nice little canvas bag. Overall, I was really happy with these toys. At first, I was a little bit skeptical because every time they bring out a new Turtles line, there's always a little bit of hate, but actually seeing these up close in person, feeling them, giving them a little play, giving them a little smack around to see if they break, I was really happy, and to be honest, I think I'm gonna end up buying a few of them. The only one I really didn't like was probably Splinter, but that is because the way he looks from the film. It's nothing to do with the actual toy. I'm gonna reserve a little bit of judgment until I see the film. My favourites were Rocksteady and Bebop, of course. The bad guys always win. And also the Superfly Baxter Stockman looks great, and I think as a figure, again, he's really toyetic. So remember guys, you can buy the vintage toys on thetoyscavenger.com. Remember to check out all my playlists and have a little look at some of the toy histories that are going up at the moment. So I've been Paul the Toy Scavenger. Thanks for viewing, and I'll see you soon.